Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, envies and beautiful creatures of all ages, welcome to the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour.
Woo! Here comes Power Hour.
We've got lots of things that we're doing today on the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour. Oh yeah, we got Bryan in as a special guest here on the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour. Oh yeah, it's the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour, and we're powerful enough.
Dang, did you make that up?
No, it was a team of writers that we hired. Yeah, they worked on La La Land and The Greatest Showman.
Oh,
Yeah.
La La Land? I love La La Land.
Yeah, you love La La Land? You love La La Land? Have you heard of the secret La La Land?
What does it?
That's my favorite.
It sounds terrible.
It is.
Keep it in the vaults. Remember when La La Land almost won the Oscar and then it didn't?
I do.
Yeah, that was
a
great.
thing.
I feel like that guy was like, La La Land was so good. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say La La Land, and he did. And they're like, no, it's a Moonlight. It's a very, very different movie, sir. He's like, I don't know. Honest mistake here, right? Honest mistake.
Welcome to the Bennettarium, a podcast by the creators of Steam Powered Giraffe for Steam Powered Giraffe and nobody else. not Steam Powered Giraffe's fans, just the members. Hi, I'm Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I play Rabbit in Steam Powered Giraffe.
My name is Bryan Barber, and I play Zero, and I don't play the other character that you're about to say.
It's not important. We all know.
My name is Dave Michael Bennett, and I play The Spine in the robot band Steam Powered Giraffe.
And then finally, this is the segment where we act like we can hear you, listener. And can you introduce yourself?
Oh, wow.
Well, welcome to the show. Seems like we got great amount of people today for including you, dear listener. So welcome to the show. It's been 3 months since our last episode.
Yeah, since we've been hibernating in the winter time.
I think our last one was in November.
It was probably in November. Yeah. So early in November.
Okay, not too
getting there.
Yeah.
December feels like such a long month.
And now it's new. What's new with you guys? You're doing great, doing things. I hear that Avatar movie came out, and there's.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see that yet.
I braved the theaters with my N95, and some guy was coughing the whole time. But I needed to see it in 3D and high frame rate, and that's the only reason I went. And then I did, and I went.
Was it worth it?
I mean, yeah, but I guess I don't want to go to a movie theater.
I feel like I should go.
Movie theaters. But
did you have popcorn?
I don't know. I hate the whole movie theater experience.
Hey, can you bring your own popcorn into the movie theaters?
Yeah, no, they're not gonna. I don't care. The workers really don't care.
I agree. I'm gonna start doing that because
you just bring a whole bucket, and if they say no outside food allowed, you just stare them right in the eye and start eating it, and they'll just be like, okay, yeah, nope, I don't care enough.
Dang. I've even got my own popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. You guys want to come over and have some popcorn?
No, but
okay.
Well, that's cool.
I'll send you a picture anyway.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe don't.
So I guess if we're catching up on things, Steam Powered Giraffe related, that's great that we all saw a movie or didn't. I'm sure. I'm sure that's a riveting conversation. But
people are wondering what we were up to or not up to.
So Steam Powered Giraffe just celebrated its 15-year anniversary, January 22nd, and we celebrated it by holding a live stream on January 20th. I didn't want to confuse people in the advertisement, so I was like, celebrate Steam Powered Giraffe's 15-year anniversary, January 22nd, on January 20th with the live stream. So I just said 20th.
You know what? You confuse people anyways. If you didn't mean to, but people were like, "This is the anniversary, right?"
Well, you don't give people 2 dates. They'll show up.
I wonder if some people were like, "I thought it was the 22nd."
Well, we weren't going to show up. We weren't going to do a live stream on a Sunday. That's
no, that didn't sound like fun.
I mean,
of course not.
Most of us work schedules, it's like weekdays usually. I mean, obviously when we did concerts back in the day, it's almost all the time weekends or Fridays or Thursdays sometimes, but the most of our lives revolve around the work schedules of everyone else. So it's usually weekdays work, weekend rest.
So updates with Steam Powered Giraffe. I'm sure we got some hot new merch items.
Yeah, I just don't remember what they are.
I think we got like a cup? No? Like
a clean canteen.
I can't remember what we've advertised before, but yeah, we have a like limited edition clean canteen. We ordered like a small batch of those. Gave some to our mystery mail patrons last year, but we still have a few on our website. They're nice. They're expensive, but that's because they're nice water bottles. They're like a good
nice
company. They're not like cheapo aluminum that's gonna bend when you drop it. I mean, they have dents when you drop them, but
I throw mine regularly against the pavement.
Yeah, that's why yours has dents all over it.
I guess they're pretty small
and won't seal properly.
But we got the small ones because they're cheaper, even though they're pretty expensive still.
Yeah, but they are like good for like traveling and stuff like that. Like when I'm in the airport, I bring that with me.
So we have those. We have a lot more products from Printful now, which is directly integrated into our online store, spgiraffestore.com, or just find our website, www.steampoweredgiraffe.com, and get the link there. Yeah, we have like a lot of print-on-demand items that you can buy right on the band's store now. So lots of things that we normally wouldn't carry. It's a lot of logo stuff right now. We haven't done too many designs. There's like a few GG shirts and whatnot. But all those, seems like we've ordered a few test items and took a few pictures with the logo T-shirt and stuff, and yeah, the quality is pretty decent. So if you want to get items somewhere on the world that we can't ship to you, that's an option too, because we don't ship to the UK ourselves because we can't comply with all the requirements for that since Brexit. But Printful does have locations in the UK, so they will print you a Steam Powered Giraffe shirt on demand if you order it. I think that's pretty much. I mean, there's other items. I don't know.
There's skater dresses and some baseball shirts. Like just they're actually really nice.
And yeah, and it's all mixed with our items we do ship you ourselves. So if you order like a print on demand item,
check it out.
Something else, it'll.
I know I brought up the merchandise, but were you gonna say something else?
No, I think we're done with the podcast.
That's it. What is Steam Powered Giraffe doing?
Thanks, everyone.
What's going on? What can we tell them
our
about?
live stream for our 15-year anniversary show is very well received. People seem to enjoy it. They seemed that the sound quality was good, and listening to it back, I would say yes. I think that's because we had a dress rehearsal, and I was able to adjust things in between. And yeah, it sounded pretty good for an acoustic thing where we just use a stereo microphone. So more live streams in the future. Probably in makeup, but we have nothing to announce right now publicly, other than that. Yeah, we're looking at doing that before doing in-person shows, most likely.
Yeah, we're still working on things behind the scenes, things we can't talk about. But hey,
every day is a step closer to maybe us announcing something. So you never know.
Who knows?
Other than our next album that we've hinted at. So
we may have already said this, but right before the holidays hit and I got real sick. With the flu, we had started introducing the Steam Powered Giraffe comic to Webtoons, so you can expect some more updates from that into this new year. So if you're into the comics that we do, check that out on Webtoons now. I think the address is like something like webtoons.com/steampoweredgiraffe or steampoweredgiraffe.webtoons.com, something, just one of those variations. You know what? If you just type in Steam Powered Giraffe,
I'm now that reminds me. Do we have the link on our?
We don't
on our website.
We haven't redirected it yet.
Okay,
we have not.
We should,
but that's okay because it was sort of a soft launch.
Yeah,
it was sort of a soft launch.
Let's not go anywhere. Just look type in Steam Powered Giraffe on Webtoons, either on the app or the Webtoons website, and you'll find us.
Yeah, so you can view that on your phone. It's optimized for phone viewing. So, yeah.
Long, endless vertical scrolling kind of setup.
Do we want to jump right into questions?
We have quite a bit, so maybe we probably. I mean, this is one since the podcast is every few months. We do have quite a bit of questions that come in, and for the most part, there's none that we don't want to answer. So we're like, okay, let's.
All right, let's start with our first one from 44. Says, hey, I'm a newer fan here. Only learned about you guys a month or so ago. One thing that struck me most while taking in all the SPG media is how passionately you guys seem to throw yourselves at your work. What do you guys do to get more passionate about creating when you might not feel up to it? I'm mostly asking this because I'm struggling to feel passionate about my own artistic endeavors at the moment. All right. Thank you for the question. 44.
Yeah, I mean, I guess everyone struggles with finding the drive to get up and do stuff, regardless if it's creative, but also creative stuff. The payoff seems a little less than like doing the dishes or going to work. There's less immediate reward, I suppose. So maybe for most people, but finding, I guess the drive for anyone to do that kind of stuff, at least Steam Powered Giraffe, there is a product eventually. It's just there's never any quick. There's no quick. I can do a drawing and bam, I feel good. I mean, we can in the band for projects and stuff, but a lot of the stuff that we work on is like takes a lot longer, a few months at minimum. But I think we all kind of deal with it differently because obviously we all have to make money, so we have to do the busy work and stuff like that to make ends meet, and then focusing on songs and stuff like that. It's not always apparent if that's going to make us money or not, so you just kind of have to. Luckily, we have Patreon, of course, so there is a little bit of incentive to keep doing the band, obviously. But I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me, it's pretty much like, well, the only difference between people who are doing successful creative stuff is that they're doing the creative stuff. So even if you're not getting paid or making money or whatnot, the first step is to be doing it and not to be waiting around for a good day to do it. And there's plenty of stuff like that in Steam Powered Giraffe because we can be working on projects, audio, music, whatever. And yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I don't wake up every day thinking, can't wait to edit videos. That's not every day though. I do enjoy it enough that I want to do it, or music and stuff. But I think that's normal as a person, especially if you're tired or going through stressful situations. But I always find even in those, if I have too many things on my plate, if I devote at least an hour to whatever creative stuff that I have to get done, that's better than nothing. And then I can always feel like, yeah. But it's different for me because not all creative stuff is just creating, right? Some of the creative work blends into actual work, like editing vocals and harmonies and putting songs together. So where the line is of what's busy work and what's creative stuff kind of blends together for me. I don't know. What's your guys' point of view?
I think you summed it up pretty well. I mean, obviously, like, discipline is the big factor, but if you can get comfortable getting into your workspace, I mean, that just takes a lot of the effort out of it. I mean, hopefully you have ideas or you're problem solving in your head, and you'll have a moment like, oh man, if I could sit down, I could figure this out. And I think you just kind of learn to ride that. When it gets more difficult, that's why it's great you got to practice. You got to practice your craft. Definitely, I struggle with finding the motivation sometimes, but I live for creating. That's the happy place. So, like, sure, like finishing something is gonna feel good, but loving the process, I think, is how I get there mostly.
Yeah, I think it helps having a group as well because there's a group dynamic here, so you can pick up on someone else's passions as well. That helps me get through some of those times. But I mean, like both of them said, just keep at it, and if you're burnt out from it, then step away from it for a second and go find something else that you're semi-passionate about, or another hobby that you can kind of put your focus in. And once you've kind of had all your focus in that, you'll probably be wanting to go back to your old things as well. That always helps my brain get a little more creative, just going somewhere else and doing it till it's done. Like whether it's playing video games or whatever it is.
Yeah, which is super important, obviously. But then if you find yourself being forced to do it because for your job, I mean, obviously Steam Powered Giraffe can have that flexibility sometimes, but sometimes it can't. And then you have to be creative even when you don't want to be.
True.
So I think it's also that's the hard, sometimes, at least for me, is like, as like the producer of a lot of the audio and stuff, like, I have to find that passion even when I don't have the energy in my body, or that's not every day, but when I try to set myself up for success in that sense. Because if I if it was just up to when I wanted to do it, I'd never get anything done, right? I think most people would be, but no. So I put myself in the position where like it's the only thing I want to do, most days, not every day. Obviously, I'm human, just like anyone else, but just you have to want to do it, and if you don't,
True.
If it's past just being tired and stuff, then well, don't be tired every day, I guess. But do the bare minimum if you're in that position. But most people, it's kind of like you don't want to put the effort in some days because there's so much else to do that you could see a benefit from. Whereas if you're nurturing that creative project that you're not getting paid for or something, it's like, well, it's a little harder to devote time to, some days.
Very true.
It's easy to get dissuaded by it. But even in our position, it can still be the same thing because we still have to create stuff and people have to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
So just different strokes, I suppose. I guess I'll do the next question. This one's a lore question, it looks like. They have a lot of different questions here, so I'll try to sum it up. But basically, does Walter Robotics, this is from Sarah Meacham, does Walter Robotics do anything special for the holidays for Walter workers who can't go home to their families? Okay, well, I don't, I guess there's assuming a lot that they don't. Do they have time off for holidays? So that's basically the question.
Are there holidays in the Walter Mansion?
Or are they
more contractors at this point?
They're full-time workers and they don't do
the economy? Yeah.
Do they live at Walter Manor? Do they have families? Do they sign up? Is this Scientology?
Are they Oompa Loompas? Is basically, are they Oompa Loompas or do we pay them?
Did Wonka save them from the vicious canids?
Or did he enslave them?
Yeah.
From the vicious canids.
So I get that's not something we've actually delved into with obviously.
Hey, finish the question. There's a lot of it.
Well, yeah, but it's more just like I think that's the questions.
Oh, I guess yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, I think they're
speculation.
of course they probably get time off and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure they have like a get together. They probably something kind of like the Steam Powered Giraffe meatball meet and greet. It's just like a meet and greet that the robots put together so that they can meet the workers' families, I guess, maybe.
And they just roll together all the meat they can find. So it's like
it's mostly Swedish meatballs, but they don't discriminate. So there's temporal meatballs and spider meatballs, all the kinds of meatballs.
I would guess that Walter Robotics isn't doing anything illegal in the sense of that would hurt anyone, because that would be contradictory to what it might be creepy and weird, but I'm assuming the people get time off and it pays them well enough that they want to do it. They must have a passion, and there must be some benefits for them.
Or maybe there's just no laws in place to deal with the kind of shenanigans that Walter Robotics puts its employees through. Not yet, at least.
I don't think it's a hellscape. I guess. I mean, we haven't said that. It might be weird because of the robots and stuff, and all the magical lands and stuff. But at a certain point, you know what you're signing up for.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's like Metalocalypse when you like sign up to work for that band, where it's like, you have a chance to die like every day.
But who knows? Second. We haven't had like a comic or a bit on stage that says anything. There's been like some videos where we had some jokes of like the spine like teaching the Walter workers how to eat cereal, but it's not it's not like they're
that was an educational program put on by the board of the UK
Spine
habits
pretty angry
for kids.
No, it was supposed to be like a employee video or something. That was
obviously staged.
Just a small little before TikTok.
We can't afford cereal here at Walter Robotics.
But yeah, I think that's the question.
Thanks for the question.
The gist of the question, I think we answered it.
It definitely gets you thinking, huh? Like the little intricacies that you could get into with a story, Brian, you want to take the next one? Do you have this the questions pulled up? No?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I got it right here.
I mean, you could.
Brian,
you find
how?
All right, Jesse asks.
I mean, we could.
What happens?
Let's send him the link. We'll wait in the podcast until we get the question.
You gonna email it to me?
No, it's not worth it. I'll just read it. Or we'll trade off.
What happens
Brian. In the future?
Okay, Jesse,
we'll hook you up.
No, I don't.
I'll wait. That's cool. No, it's fine. Jesse asks, what happens with the retired costume pieces and instruments? Like Rabbit has different headpieces and hats and jackets. Also, like the guitar and Spine's old guitar and vest. I don't know why this is a burning question, but it is. So right off the bat, I can tell you that the guitar is the same guitar that we've used since day one. So that's great. It's still the same one. So we haven't retired it yet. But yeah, I have a lot of retired costumes, and I just hang them up in a special part of my closet in the back because I think, like I like looking back and remembering, So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna part with those, or if there was a museum, maybe we put them there, but that's not happening, I don't think.
This question was from November, like right after our last live stream, but if last Bennettarium, but on our anniversary stream, I showed like two or three hats, the new one, like the previous year ones, like so they probably all last 5 years each or so. So we do. I have some. I don't have all of them because I had like ones from back in Balboa Park that were really cheap ones, and I just tore through them, standing out in the sun and sweating in them and all that. But yeah, I keep some of them just in case Spy needs to jump into a pool or something for a bit. I haven't had to, to ruin a costume. I could probably ruin a hat.
We probably should now.
But no, I don't know. I don't need to keep like 10 sweaty, gross hats.
Oh, come on.
And I wear a headband, but like, a headband only goes so far after you're
donate him to the Sweaty Steam Powered Giraffe Museum. Where it's
I get it.
The Sweaty Steam Powered Giraffe Museum. All the sweaty objects that Steam Powered Giraffe owns.
Yeah.
Hey, those are my socks.
Not open on Sundays.
And we'll make you. I'm gonna go take this because
All right.
I might be.
Yeah,
moving,
go ahead.
So I have to.
Go.
That's cool. You do that. Just okay.
What is an old timey phone? Like, I haven't heard that ring since 1995. Like,
yeah, it brought me back.
he's got like a rotary phone there.
All right, we got another question. Let's do this. Honeybee.
Let's hit it.
Honeybee asks, do y'all have a joke that you love, but for whatever reason can't fit into a song or skit? Oh. No, because like even electronic, what the heck is that? Automatonic electronic harmonics, which has that really long like bit that goes on forever in front of it.
Yeah.
We just force it down the audience's mouth, and sometimes we extend it by 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything that we find funny unless it's like raunchy or like has bad words, something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that would ever stop us from doing something that we thought is funny.
Yeah.
Or it's like extra violent or something like that. Those are just for rehearsal pieces. That's it.
Oh, look, David's back.
Sorry about that. I wouldn't normally do that, but unfortunately, every phone call now is going to be important because we might be moving, and that place was They were like, "Oh, you were interested in place?" I was like, "No, I'm not. It costs more than where I am now, and it's not as good." That's why we didn't call you back. That's why we didn't give you an application. Isn't that the worst part is the places you want get scooped up immediately, and the places you don't want are calling you like, "Are you sure you don't? Sure you don't want a private apartment?"
Come on. I know you need some housing. Come on.
But obviously, it's really hard to find places. Anyways,
California
let's get
housing.
back to that question.
Oh yeah, David, do you have a joke that you love, but for whatever reason can't fit into a song or skit? We were saying that no, we just force whatever joke we want down the audience's throat, like the automatonic bit.
Yeah, I wish there was
some sort of filter to stop you.
I don't know. I don't have a good story for any of that because I think most of the ideas are built around Steam Powered Giraffe anyway. So there's not one that I'm like, no, we can't do that joke because we can't fit it into it. I think we would just. If that's not the right shape for that block, it's going in there.
If you want more jokes, well, then just we're always going to write new bits and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question.
I wish we had one that was, but no, I can't think of any of that.
I was just saying, like anything that has like a curse word in it or something like that. That's the only thing that would stop us.
Yeah. But I think we
might think it was funny initially, but then usually we're like, yeah. Probably not.
Put stuff on stage that's only funny to us, but it's not. There's nothing wrong about it. It's just like who knows? Sometimes you just don't know what's funny to the audience, and sometimes you'll just say something on stage and it'll just get the uproarious laughter, and you're like, really? That?
Yeah.
So, because the thing we think is hilarious is not always what the audience would be, or it's not what we can convey because maybe it's like only funny because we're in the band. It's hard sometimes, but
it doesn't mean we're not gonna do it 18 times. So they're sick of whatever joke it is.
Sometimes they don't get the joke, like in this case of our Christmas show that we did in New Jersey, which basically we kept the final song round, which was the steam powered giraffe. It's a steam powered giraffe.
Mhm.
I think we did that in
Christmas
Bakersfield, too.
special.
Or maybe it was
Yeah,
Bakersfield.
I don't remember if we did this joke twice. Maybe we did, but we basically just, it went on and on forever. Like, and we did it like just so many times that it stopped being funny.
And I was like, and I was going into the audience playing it, and I went into the lobby, and it was kind of like, it wasn't, we weren't trying to be like cringy. It was supposed to be like, we were trying to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But what happened was whoever was hosting that show, like, started getting everyone up and dancing around the audience, and it was just like killed it. It was like, no.
Oh no.
So what we did is we extended it even further.
Because it was this. Here's the thing: is we when we were like gung ho for it. We were like very, like adamant. Like if it's not working, you have to keep going. Like so we did, and it didn't work.
I get it.
It was one of those.
It didn't.
It has to become unfunny, and literally people.
It was
people have to be
sabotaged
wanting
by-
to leave the theater, and then
It was
gets
sabotaged by the
hilarious.
people that didn't pay us.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the best way that ends is that everybody leaves the theater except for like one or two people, and then
Yeah.
you just end the show.
gosh, that would have been great.
The
That's
hardest
way-
part. The hardest
that's
part
the pro- like,
was
primo.
not wanting to like. I think maybe I also contributed because I was getting tired and stuff. So is that the joke that I'm getting tired? It could have been because I was trying to pivot. Like, okay, nothing's happening. This is
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
I think we would have stopped soon,
As
as if people weren't going up and down the aisle. It just got a little much after that, and
I think it's
kind of ran off the rails.
You can't really judge what the audience is going to be because some audiences will sit there and they'll be so polite and they will barely clap. You know what I mean? And they'll show up but the autograph line will be long. And then other times people are a little more rowdy.
You know,
So,
you should have done. You should have
yeah.
stopped and then started again.
We should have. Well, we all get off and like, okay, you want one more?
And like that's our encore.
So to answer your question, yes, we are the next iteration of Andy Kaufman. Do you want to get this next question, David?
So Coffee Cake asks, if each robot could have a partner Pokemon, what would they choose and why? So this isn't us. This is our robots. What partner Pokemon would you want? What Pikachu-esque Pokemon do you want following you around? And their name also happens to be the name of the Pokemon because that's what
I want the Rabbit would do the trash one, right? This is the trash one.
the trash one. Garbage-O? I don't. If
Garbage-O?
Chelsea didn't have to go to work, she would know the names because she plays Pokemon Go a lot. But I only know the first 150. What's the trash Pokemon called?
Oh, the
yeah,
first
you're not lucky.
150.
Chemical waste.
What's the garbage one called?
Trashy.
Use diapers. That's its name.
Oh, come on, use diapers. Get them.
I feel like
Come on, trash bag full of used diapers.
I choose you.
Trubbish.
His name is Trubbage.
Trubbish.
Yeah, sorry, I took it. I took a
Chelsea.
funny one. Hi, Chelsea.
Wait, there, now you can be seen.
Hey.
Partner Pokemons. These are for the robots, so they can't. So I would say, even though some type of steel Pokemon makes sense, I suppose it's mine. I think
Steelix.
personalities-wise, it'd probably be something like Psyduck. Something that's
No,
Pokemon
that was gonna be
a
mine.
Pokemon that's very. Am I doing that? No. Okay. Some other. There's a
Popcorn.
loud beat. Whatever. I don't care.
Popsicle popcorn.
Psyduck.
I could see the spine getting into shenanigans.
They would match.
Just
They would
getting
be-
annoyed.
I feel like they would match, and Psyduck's pretty.
The spine would like hold the bridge of his nose and be like, as he's like dragging his Psyduck.
I'd be like, Psy-yi-yi. That's what he says in the cartoon, anyways.
Yeah, he does.
So that's why his spine.
He sure does.
Well, that was mine, so I guess.
Yeah, well, that.
I guess I guess I'm Bulbasaur. Now Bulbasaur is my
Why?
guy, and I just riding on his back all the
Why?
time.
How does that fit with Zero?
He doesn't. Psyduck fit with Zero perfectly.
How? Why? Why would Psyduck fit
he's-
with all the robots?
Because he would freak out about things, and then
We can't
I would
all
freak
have
out about
Psyduck.
things, and then he would freak out about things, and then I would freak out about things.
There's probably
Don't
other.
you see? Don't you see?
There's probably other Pokemon that are like that, but that's the. But since I was only.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know
the
any
first
Pokemon.
150 myself.
I know the first 10, maybe. I know every Pokemon that was in Detective Pikachu.
Okay, yeah, which is
That's
weird
my
because you
my
grew up-
level of
You
knowledge.
grew up in around the same age as us, but you just never got into it. For
Yeah,
us,
I
it was
watched Dragon
middle
Ball Z.
school.
Here's my Dragon Ball character that it would be
Yeah.
Chaozu. There's
cool.
Chaozu is my Pokemon.
Cool. I'm glad this question is basically Psyduck for everyone. That's basically what we came to. Yep, still got a lot of questions to get through.
Okay, cool.
It's okay. That's what the Bennettarium is at this point.
Here's one from Bunny, here's one for Bunny from Standing Room. They say, some aspects of your artwork remind me of the work of late Victorian illustrator Aubrey Beardsley.
Oh.
That can't be a real name. Would you consider him an influence? If so, could you get into that a little? This is the first time I am hearing of Albert Beardsley. What's his name?
Albert Beardsley?
Aubrey
Aubrey
Beardsley. I gotta look this up.
Aubrey Beardsley.
No, I don't think so, but I'm gonna definitely look up his work. Oh wow, okay, yeah, I've never seen this, but I definitely see.
Oh, dope.
Some of the influence. Very, what do you call it? Contrast, light and dark. Very tall. Yeah, I can see some influence. No, this is the first time I've heard of him, so yay. Cool. Thanks for introducing me to them, Standing Room. I love it.
Next question comes from the Vice System. This is a for fun question, apparently, according to them, and it's directed towards Bunny. They were talking to some people about the red accordion and how its name is Squeezy, or something along the lines of that, and got on the topic of if the other accordion was ever given a name. So I'm assuming they're talking about the digital accordion that was all black.
Well, I believe the red one was named Squeezy, and the black one's name is Squeezy too. And that is not just something I just made up. That is canon.
These were like bits on stage, basically. For a second, it was not even a bit. Just Rabbit saying the name of it.
Well, this is Squeezy too,
but it's probably not well documented or anything, but there you go.
Not very funny, but yeah, I mean, that is the actual answer. Yeah. Thanks for playing.
Right back. You can take the next question.
From Faye, they ask, what was the original idea that gave birth to the Vice Quadrant album? Has that idea ever held the possibility for a sequel to the space opera? It's my favorite album practically in general, and because the story definitely has room for more, I just had to ask. Well, thanks, Faye. Yeah, we came up with Vice Quadrant. It was actually going to be our second album, but we decided, you know what, we need to do more albums with just the robots before we get into this high concept stuff. And this was way back in the day when we were working on album 1. But it eventually would see its release at our fourth album. We were also considering it for our third album. But once again, I think we came to the same conclusion where it's like, well, we just got Sam. Let's introduce him. And that's where MK3 came from. So yeah, Vice Quadrant. Yeah, we love Vice Quadrant. And of course there's a possibility for a sequel. We kind of built it that way. And there's been the ongoing teasers through our albums. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that one day, maybe, but we're never going to say when. And yeah, so... But yeah, totally. I'm glad you like the album. We love it too. And we'd love to do more of that, the narrative in general, I think, from Vice Quadrant or otherwise. It was fun. It was a really fun album.
Next question is from ZZ. Would you ever consider offering keyboard sheet music for some of your songs that use it, either on Patreon or sale in your shop? I'm learning keyboard and can't think of anything more motivating to learn than an SPG song would be. Well, we all play by ear, and we had one person who was willing to put sheet music together for some of our more popular songs. I think it was Matt Smith, our past drummer, and he offered a pretty good deal, but it's not a request we get too often. And since we play by ear, I mean, I think Bryan and I probably can sight read a little bit because of music theater stuff. But yeah, playing by ear is a lot quicker for me.
I think we just need to get someone to do it for us. But I mean,
I don't think it's a lucrative. I mean, we're a pretty small band. I say that all the time. We might be well known because of Honeybee a little bit, but it's not really worth our time to try and do that.
There might be some home brewed interpretations online if you look hard enough.
There's definitely people doing that. I mean, we've had people license it for high school, like Honeybee and stuff, like make like arrangements for different instruments and stuff. But
a lot of vocal.
Yeah.
well, you know, that's hiring.
Acapella stuff.
That's like a school hiring someone, and we have to license it, and we give them the school deal. It's like a few $100, and they're like, okay, cool.
I would say if you're learning keyboard, like, yeah, definitely, maybe try to pick an easy song and try to play it by ear as you're learning other songs.
Yeah,
for practice.
I mean, obviously, sheet music would be the easiest, but we don't have any available, and it's just, I mean, it's just.
What's an easy one? An
just
easy
to
one
be
might
honest,
be Honeybee.
It's not something we're looking at pursuing, and obviously our plates are always full, and hiring someone to do it would be like, well, how much money can you make off of sheet music? Not much. So that's the honest answer, I think.
But you can start with looking up just like the basic chords online, because those are everywhere, and then seeing if you can play those on the piano, and you can start from there.
But yeah, we have chord sheets on our Patreon, which I think is the in between, where it's like, yeah, if you want to learn it, our not just Honeybee and other songs, but our more popular ones. People have requested other ones, and I've put them up over the years, but we don't have our full discography of chord sheets, just because I like to make them look nice. But the more popular ones are definitely up there. So that's a good starting place for any instrument, because guitar, you can play the rhythm with it, or even piano, you can play the rhythm on your left hand at least. Plus, a lot of the sheet music that's piano, you know, it's done by multiple people. Sometimes it's me, or past backing musicians, so we can't, you know, we would have to interpret it too. So it would definitely be.
maybe one day when we're like a lot older, we'll like it's like learn how to play Honeybee on the guitar with David, but it's only on like an old CD-ROM for like Windows 3.1, or like maybe like an 8-track or something like a really difficult to play media, just to be funny, I guess.
It'll be popular at that time.
Just to mess with people.
Some retro way, I'm sure.
I don't know. I thought there was a joke there, but I guess that's just what it is.
Cool. Thanks for that question.
From Zion, bit of a weird one. Can the robots run? If so, how fast can they run? This one has been in my head since 2021. I must know.
Can the robots run?
And when they run, wouldn't like the concrete just like?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
it would be a total anime run. like
I don't think
dust
we're like
and debris are flying up.
I don't think we're a Boston Dynamics kind of robot that's relatively light. I think we're
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say they definitely can run, but it's like only in like everyone's gonna die situations.
Back in the day, we would I think there was a bit that we would say we were actually made of steel, and it was about a couple tons each, which I don't know if that's realistic, but if they're made with steel, I don't know, like, or iron, you know, like, yeah, they're
super heavy.
I think they're supposed to be fairly heavy. I think Spine's probably the more limber of the robots, since he's like the more
we've
upgraded
definitely
one.
like moved quickly on stage before.
But, yeah, you know, one of the things that we do is sometimes Rabbit will slide across the stage really fast, as if she's on a track. You know, like, sometimes if I need her to move fast, I'll barely move my legs and just kind of do like a shuffle, so it looks like maybe she connected onto a track or something. I don't know. But other than that, yeah, definitely can run a little bit, but I guess the momentum would probably like crash through a wall or something.
I'm sure there'll be a time
careful.
in the comic where we're landing on the ground in an Iron Man fall. Or landing or whatever.
Technically, every stage we're on should just be shattered by now. You know, it's just hear this creaking.
Yeah, I don't think theater stages would even be able to support that. 3 robots.
It's
Maybe.
probably in my headcanon that somewhere in the last 10 years they probably got some upgrades to make their interiors lighter.
It's canon that they have to reinforce every stage the robot gets on before a show. It's super expensive. It costs more than the show costs.
Oh, what if it's just like the Walter Workers come out with like this glowing blue like paint roller, and it's like some magical application that they put on it that Defies gravity. See, that seems like logical.
It's just flex
A
tape.
special paint. It's just a patch. Yeah.
Oh, flex tape on it.
Or the robots are just have like rockets on their shoes the whole show, and you can't hear the song.
And everyone's just breathing in carbon dioxide.
They have like
Awful.
cranes from off stage, holding him in, pulling him in. Yeah. Our next question is from Stay Burton.
Carbon monoxide? Wouldn't it be that? It would be that from a rocket,
Yeah,
right?
carbon monoxide. Yeah.
I was like, okay.
I'm sorry.
Maybe. I was like, thinking about it?
Do you guys still have that robot from Oddity, San Francisco? That was interesting to watch.
We've answered this question a few times, but it's always going to keep coming back because people are going to find that on streaming television and say, hey, that's...
You can take it. I know you love regaling the story.
So yeah, I don't know who knew us or whatever, but we were hired way back in the day. I don't even remember the year anymore. Probably it was when Sam, like right after Sam had just joined. They wanted two twins to do an Oddities episode. This was the San Francisco version of their show. So they were asking us right off bat, it's all fake. There's like, we didn't travel to San Francisco to get something. They literally, for us, we weren't even there to like kind of advertise ourselves really. It was just, they wanted two identical twins and we did it. And they filmed us as if we needed a robot for our stage show. But the way that it works is that they have all these items that they rent sometimes. So it's not, I don't know. We're never going to get hired by them again to do something like that. And I don't care if it's bad blood, but it's all fake.
Well, all reality shows are like this
I mean,
too.
maybe, I don't know about all, but this was all fake. I mean, the shop is there. You can buy merchandise that's kind of about the shop. And I'm sure there are items you can, but it's a television show and they do let people walk around, but
I just want to point out that wouldn't the obvious robot to go with would be those RC cars
I know,
that were shown in the episode.
yeah.
We didn't even get to see those in the lore of the episode we did, and we passed them up.
Yeah, well, it's because it's all fake. Like they have you change shirts and clothes to shoot day 2, like you came back, but you were literally there 2 minutes ago.
It was fun. But
and when you look at the price,
disappointing.
Not to say anything, but I'm just like, steam powered. Not that anyone. I mean, you saw it. It was on television. Of course, you would believe it, right? That we bought this ugly looking robot. I don't know how to say it. It wasn't very interesting to look at. I mean, it was like design wise. Of course, it was a nice art piece, but like
it didn't make any sense that we would need it for our show because it's so tiny you wouldn't see it on stage.
I don't know. Whatever. We were hilarious though. I think during the filming of everything. I don't know about the director, but we were making the crew crack up, and that's all that mattered to us.
No, we got that great joke where I don't even know. I can't remember, but
it was kind of an incest joke. Or no, they
it was an incest joke.
They cut that one, but it was like,
did they? I thought that was the one they kept. I think that's like the one they kept.
You're right. We were referencing another show, and they're like,
we were referencing Hoarders, and like everyone was cracking up. But like we said, we can't do it because that's the rival. That's a rival network.
You know what? The incest joke. I don't even know what it was at this point. But anyways,
I can't remember. It was like a turn of phrase. Like the way I said something, you just kind of riffed off of it.
It was I
don't remember.
I think we were on our.
It was innocent. It was very innocent, but yeah, it's just funny.
It was one and done. They bought us Chinese food afterwards, and then we flew back.
What? You had Chinese food?
The Chinese food was not very good.
That was our pay. The pay was, okay, we'll pay you. We'll fly you up to San Francisco and fly you back the same day. And get you Chinese food in between, because you're getting your band advertised a little bit, I suppose. But they didn't want us in makeup. We played a song for them, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to use this because it's too long." And we played Honeybee obviously for them, and they wanted all that. So it's not like, we were like, "Hey, let us play a song on the episode." You know what I mean? They were going to have it like, can you guys play a song for us? You're a band. I have a guitar, and they would probably just hand me my guitar or something. That's how it looked like it was going to be set up or something.
No.
Yeah.
Or like, I have
cool.
a guitar in the car. I'll go get it.
It was very informative on how they shoot those kind of shows and stuff, and like it's. I would imagine that I think I heard that like Pawn Stars, which was popular at the time, like that shot pretty similarly, like from what I've heard. So it makes sense, right? Like
you need a little bit of control over the drama.
Yeah.
The drama for us, the audience was pretty like, not very stressful. It was a feel-good show kind of thing. So, and obviously all the people working there are super nice. The two leads in that show. Oh, it's like it's 2 and 2. Yeah, we didn't see the other people. We only saw Wednesday. I forget the last name, but that was one of the characters. But it's actually a real person. So,
I do remember they had to force in some educational stuff, which always felt awkward because it was like they were talking about the history of robots to us, and we had to play like we're nodding, like, yes, we came into the store to buy a robot and get educated about robots.
Whatever. Every once in a while, we'll get people that'll say, "Hey, I remember that episode."
I would say like maybe
just now.
maybe people thought that we would put him on our merch table, and I could say like, yeah, okay, he would have fit there.
Yeah.
That would have been a cute little thing that would have taken up space and been but we didn't get to buy him. They rented him. Okay, well, that was a great question. Thank you for the trip down memory lane.
Okay, we have one more question, and then we have 2 more that came in after we started the podcast. And in the spirit of time, we'll save those for the next one. Okay, last question for today, from Joe. Are any of you fans of Star Trek? If so, what's your favorite series or favorite character? This is a question for the Peniacs too, but they're not here.
Sure is.
Yes, I am a huge Star Trek fan. I watched the original trilogy finally, like maybe 5 years ago. I think I still have to finish up some episodes in season 3, but who cares about season 3? No, but and then also Next Generation. I started that. I think I have like 1 or 2 seasons left, and I'm kind of holding off on it because I don't want it to end. Deep Space Nine I recently started, which is great too. It's just like a whole nother universe. It's like a whole nother kind of. It's like edgier, I guess. It's cool.
Everything's darker. There's not a lot of red and yellow anymore. Everyone's got grays. Worf's got his like Klingon gear on.
And plus, it's just Deep Space Nine is basically adventures in the space mall, and you basically just get to hang out with the security guy, and it's fun. And then Quark,
and the big thing with Deep Space Nine is that unlike the other Star Treks, there's consistency between episodes. All the other ones were made like start and finish
episodic.
Yeah. Where you can syndication, you can just play it in any order because they're all standalone things.
There's like little things
sense,
in the Next Generation that have callbacks.
Yeah, they do.
Like, Q's super early on. And he's like, that's like the first introduction to like the Borg there, and so like that, like they always throw back to those. I mean, but that's pretty much the only one that kind of goes back.
Yes, Deep Space Nine was finished really serialized, which was I think a departure even from Next Gen. So
yeah, I finished Picard on Paramount Plus or whatever.
I haven't watched that one.
You didn't?
Not yet. I haven't watched.
Yeah, I'd say the first season's excellent. I mean, there's of course I could nitpick it all day long, but no, I liked it. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter about the new characters. I just care about Data and Picard, and those moments that they get at the end of that series were gold for me. So I don't really care.
When Riker shows up and says, "Hey,"
oh yeah, all that stuff's great. Second season's garbage.
When Guinan shows up, and you're like, "Hey,
yeah,
she came off spouting BS on The View to reprise her character." Yay! I remember Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, the Peniacs are huge Deep Space Nine fans. Like they like Voyager, some episodes of Voyager, and of course Next Generation too. But Deep Space Nine is their jam, and
Enterprise.
They're all about the Ferengis and all that. That's their. I think
Enterprise with its dorky ass theme song.
I watched Enterprise, and I've started Discovery, but I'm not like super into it yet.
Yeah, I would say the modern ones have been real hit or miss. Discovery has a lot of good stuff in it. It's it gets stronger and then it gets weaker, but I think Doug Jones in that show is really good.
Great.
All the episodes about his species are really strong. Love it. It's
I watch a lot of the Red Letter Media stuff for the Star Trek, so I didn't have to watch Picard because they have like hour-long reviews of all of them, and I'm like, well, I'm glad.
Well, then don't talk about it. You've never seen it. Don't talk about it.
No, I'm just saying, just in case anyone out there is listening, like the Peniacs and I are huge Red Letter Media fans, and
same.
So if there's something that we're like, is this good? Of course we'll.
No, they make some great points on the stuff that I have watched with Star Trek, and I like
Next Gen. I like Deep Space Nine. I watched that growing up. More so, a lot more of Next Gen as a child, but Deep Space Nine. Every once in a while I'd catch an episode, so it was a little harder to follow as a kid because it was more serialized, I guess. But next gen, obviously, you watch one episode and you're like, okay, that's kind of standard.
If you're a fan of Star Trek, I would recommend Red Letter Media, and they break down all the Star Trek movies, which are pretty funny. Go for it.
But yeah, everything. I couldn't say I'm a fan of current Star Trek because nothing has hooked me so far. Nothing's made me want to watch it fully more than an episode or two.
I think Lower Decks is like the strongest contender in my opinion, but I haven't watched the most recent season. But I thought the first two were like pretty funny. But other than that, like, yeah, it's been kind of disappointment. But I still love Star Trek, and I'm hoping they'll go back to what made it good in the first place.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the like. Basically what Red Letter Media says about Star Trek and how none of these are Star Treks, basically. And I'm like, yeah, no, they're right. It's like...
Unfortunately, I think the Orville is the closest thing.
Yeah,
and
I would...
And it's actually pretty dang good.
Yeah, I watched definitely almost all of the first season. I know it's not... but, it is...
It gets really good.
That's more Star Trek
season
than the
2.
new Star Trek, for sure. But I'm not... I'm like a mega fan of Star Trek. I just... I do agree that the new stuff is kind of like, well, it's more action adventure. It's not really what Star Trek's about. Yeah. Anyways, I will stop our questions there because we're coming up on an hour of the podcast or so. So we probably have some. What can we close out this stuff with? We answered a lot of questions. More ones this time.
It's early 2023. Everyone just started the new year. Not a lot to say except, I hope everyone's having a good 2023 so far.
Yeah,
this is the longest.
as well.
This is the longest January ever. It feels like for Januaries are usually that long. They're like a mix of boring and stressful, and you know what I mean. It takes forever to get through January.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of things coming out except for Dead Space, the remake, which is coming out tomorrow, and I'm very excited. So, there's that.
That's great.
Too much for my heart, probably. I remember playing the first one, and it's probably too much.
It's scary. I remember having nightmares of babies crawling on the walls. So, yes, it's
more
a
like
scary game.
the jump scares, and even the ones that are unintentional are just because of the gameplay. That's what I can't handle. I can't handle it.
Yeah,
the intensity maybe, but
Yeah,
but it looks good. It looks good. I wish I had more of the stomach to not the gross stuff. I can handle that. It's more the
yeah. No, it's even the original game was pretty.
It's more that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I think it's earned in Dead Space. At least it's very much they. The first one doesn't have a whole lot of jump scares that are programmed. The second one, that one has a lot of programmed jump scares, but it's so creepy. It's
one and three, and three was like get together with your buddies and just shoot everything because it's an action game now. So the third one was actually kind of enjoyable because there's these aliens aren't scary because I got my buddy here.
Has the Callisto Protocol come out? Because that's actually the real Dead Space remake, and did it do good? Or?
No, I mean,
oh no,
I mean maybe it sold a lot, but no, it's definitely panned for being a pale imitation, even though it's from the crazy Dead Space. I'm just
dang.
I know I didn't play it, but after when a certain review score, you're like, and you hear the same thing, you're like, yep, probably.
Dang, I was hoping that it was going to be cool. Well, then I guess the Dead Space remake might be.
Yeah. Obviously, I follow a lot of the gaming leaks and stuff, and some of the stuff coming out about it. It seems to be pretty. I mean, they're just remaking the game. The game was already widely praised, right? So,
yeah. Oh man, I tried to play the original, and the control. I didn't realize how bad games were. Some of the games back in the day, the quality of life features that make a modern game oh my gosh, the camera, everything just felt like you're like driving a tank.
Just so clunky.
Yeah. Which I guess kind of adds to the weight of the suit and everything, but it was so hard. It was so hard to play. You know what game they should make that's horror and kind of scary, but more of an action game? The Suffering. Remember The Suffering?
I never played that one.
I don't think so. Maybe. But
I don't want to get too into it, but look it up. I couldn't even get that game to run on a modern computer, so they really need to give me a remake.
I guess that's some old games that just go by the wayside because stuff can't play it anymore. I
You
mean, that's a
gotta-
lot with a
there's
lot of
just-
console games too, unless they
Yeah.
but they only like make the port over the popular old ones. Which sorry, you can't play this PS2 game.
There's an entire like mountain of games that people need to experience that are just kind of lost to time because they're not out, including Black and White 2, The Suffering 2, and those are just
Yeah.
a few off of the cuff. The whole mountain.
I played a little bit of Forspoken, but I've been so busy I've only played 2 hours since it's been released. It runs it doesn't run very good on console or PC, but there's stuff there. The running around with magic parkour, that's pretty well done, and the combat is pretty flashy and enjoyable. It just has some weird choices. I guess that's all I'll say about it. It has some weird choices that are making people tear it apart. So I don't think it deserves all the hate it gets, but it does.
Enough.
It does run pretty garbagey. And some of the first hour or so is pretty weird narrative choices and stuff. Just weird how the cutscenes fade to black, and some models they switch back and forth, and then the lips don't sync up, and it's weird. It's weird. And then some cutscenes look really good, and some don't. And the lighting model is all whatever. I'm not Digital Foundry. Go to Digital Foundry's YouTube, and they'll pick it apart for you and tell you look at this is why this game looks kind of weird, is because the lighting's all messed up. Anyways. Just another game that Square forgot to finish. That's Square's.
I don't know if they forgot or they intentionally.
No, yeah, they got their investors. They gotta get it out. They gotta get it out. Yeah, it was based on Tech Demo back in the day. I forget which one. I remember The Witch being one. Luminous Engine, only 2 games came out with it. Final Fantasy 15 and this one. But 15 runs a little better than this one on PC anyways. I guess 15 didn't run super great on PS4. But all puts in that's kind of how we are with games now. You can release a lot of unfinished stuff and try to fix it later, and
Yeah, I guess so.
you can patch everything.
We just need
Cyberpunk was the
we
biggest
need
one, I think,
unions in the
recently.
game industry, and it's a lot of bad stuff going on in there.
Look, we were able to fit video game hour right at the end here.
Yeah,
I think
the game zone
or video game hour.
return to form.
So we'll see you in a few months, I suppose. We're at the hour mark right now. Any parting words from all y'all?
Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your continued support, and have a happy 2023.
Yeah, all that stuff and then some.
Thank you, Patreon patrons, for showing up to this live stream. If you're not a Patreon patron and you want to support the band while we work on stuff and get early access to things and behind-the-scenes scoops and whatnot, go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/SteamPoweredGiraffe. You can get archived videos of all these podcasts if you really need to see our faces for the audio. And we do rehearsal live streams as well, monthly. In person too. Bennettarium, we were like, we're getting together in person so much, might as well do the remote thing. It just saves us a little bit of time each week. We do it. So thank you for supporting us, Patreon patrons. Okay.
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour.
Is that the name of it?
We did a lot of questions. We talked about Star Trek and Dead Space on the show today. It's the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour. Oh boy, it's the Steam Powered Giraffe Power Hour. And you finished the podcast.
Congratulations, you finished the podcast. We're proud of you.
Hooray.